Next, we have our class speaker, and this speaker is chosen. By their peers. This year's class speaker is Jude Hammers. Jude has been at Hillbrook since junior kindergarten, and he is the last of 4 Hammers to come through the school. And a side note, his oldest brother, Cole, was also selected by his classmates as the class speaker, which seems to provide like a fitting bookend to the 17-year Hammer experience. So Jude, welcome, and we look forward to hearing your speech.
Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the graduation of the Hillbrook class of COVID-19. Sorry, I mean 2020. Thank you all for inviting me into your living rooms today. It makes me very proud to be looking at you through the same screen where you've spent hours watching Anthony Fauci, Joe Exotic, and Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé. Love those guys. I'm also very excited that as of now, I've had more time in the spotlight than those pesky murder hornets did. Whatever happened to those guys anyways? By the way, I am perfectly fine with eating microwave burritos and watching TLC reruns all day, but we all know I would rather be giving this speech to all of you up at Hillbrook in the amphitheater with everyone gathered together. This past week, my classmates and I got to go up to Hillbrook for one last time and hear recognition speeches written for us by some of our favorite teachers. I know I can speak on behalf of the entire class when I say thank you. Hearing these speeches really showed us not only the impact we all have made on this school, but also how much the Hillbrook community appreciates us. It also showed us how much our teachers care about each and every one of us and how well they know us. At most schools, hands-on learning was completely out the window once distance learning began, but not at Hillbrook. For example, our science teacher, Miss Hollingsworth, was having us build catapults in our own backyards so we could learn about projectile physics and also have some fun. This is a great example of a teacher going above and beyond, which could truly be said about all the teachers at Hillbrook. Earlier this year, when we were learning about colonial America, Mr. Jacobson figured out a way to take our entire class on an incredible field trip to see the musical Hamilton in San Francisco. Back in 4th grade, Miss Engineer and Miss Crabtree somehow kept big smiles on their faces while we made music with our new recorders. And lastly, teachers from JK to 8th packing extra food on field trip days for students who would inevitably forget their lunches at home. I may or may not have been one of them. More than once. But I must say I never have tasted a better PB&J than the ones that come fresh from the Gingery Kitchen. Thank you, teachers, for all the ways you have cared for us throughout the years. As I reflect on our time here at Hillbrook, I struggle to think of it concretely. Instead, I'm left with a bunch of feelings, like the way it felt in the Shrek rehearsals when we all got to try on our awesome costumes, even if we didn't get to show them off for all of you in the big performance. Believe me, they were epic. Or the irresistible smell of juniors' churros at recess, and the sweet sound of our 2nd grade buddies cheering us on in the 8th verse faculty games. And lastly, the excitement of the first day of school, and everyone finding their new classrooms, teachers, and friends. These may just seem like little things to any other graduating class, but to our class, a class that lost so much in such short time, little things can mean everything. There truly is no right feeling for my classmates and me to have about the circumstances that we are dealing with. We may feel disappointed, or resentful, or even angry. All of these feelings are perfectly appropriate because none of us expected to be ending our Hillbrook careers virtually. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we all thought we were in for 3 more months of Friday Fitness, Community Sing, and that recess bell just getting rung 4 minutes too early. I mean, come on, guys! But seriously, the coronavirus has turned our 8th grade year upside down and given us a new challenge of not just distance learning, but also trying to take care of ourselves and others, mentally and physically. However, the way our class has responded to the pandemic is unbelievable. In fact, I think that if Hillbrook was in need of a new core value to add to the beloved 4, we could add be resilient and it would be fully inspired by the class of 2020. Sure, we could be sitting around and moping about what we've lost, but we're not. Instead, we are making the best out of a bad situation. For example, in March, my classmate Angie led a pop-up impact lab where she taught the Hillbrook community how to make homemade masks. Also this spring, 8th graders Weber, Brianna Bell, Zoe, and Stefana created a social impact bingo game, challenging Hillbrook families to help out their communities and have some fun. Other 8th graders read books they created about historical events to their 2nd grade buddies as a way to teach them about these events and spark some joy. In Miss De Palma's English class, we spent our last class not complaining about how we can't be together, but thanking each other for the fun we had this year and reminiscing about good times, including fond remembrances of in-class performances such as Macbeth and The Crucible, where I somehow ended up as Jake's wife, Anne Putnam. Nailed it. These examples of resilience prove that this class is not only ready for whatever is ahead of us, but also an inspiration to all. Hillbrook has prepared us in a way so that we are ready for global issues like pandemics or much worse, by teaching us how to be passionate about things that matter to us, how to cooperate with others, how to be flexible, and most of all, how to be a leader. We are a class with so much to offer. We are photographers, computer geniuses, geography experts, chess champions, writers, athletes, artists, singers, and musicians. We have many different interests, but we share bonds that cannot be broken, even by a pandemic. You know, most people would think that the quarantine has separated us. And yes, physically it has. But emotionally, if anything, it has brought us together. For instance, when we found out in March that school was officially canceled for the rest of the year, my classmates and I sent messages to people we wanted to thank for making our Hillbrook experiences so enjoyable. So, class of 2020, as we leave dear Hillbrook, as the song says, we shall not forget. Let us remember Hillbrook in the same way that the school will remember us, not by what we lost, but by what we learned, what we shared, and the memories we made along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. What a fabulous